Hey, shalom, shalom. Have you ever wondered or ever thought any, just as a child like mine, just your imagination as a kid? This is a quick thought to put on right quick. You know, I don't see a lot of things now, cryptids or anything like that. Maybe sometimes spirits have the peripheral vision, but nothing real crazy. I haven't seen anything crazy. You know why? When I was growing up, my auntie used to who was into some stuff. She showed us all the movies, Lord of the Rings. You know, we seen a lot of scary movies. She showed us the making of them. She showed us a lot of. We read a lot of books. So, with your imagination, I grew up off Godzilla, everything else. So, with your imagination, you have a tendency to believe in these things. Don't matter. This little cartoon called The Fairies, and the Seven Friendly Giants, you know, Puff the Magic Dragon, all this type of stuff. So when you have an imagination, you kind of, you believe in these things, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I think as I got older, I still kind of believed in it. That's why everything that I see and all the stuff that's coming out now, my mother was always into that Star Trek, Star Wars, galactic stuff, cosmic stuff. So I grew up off this, so it's no surprise to me, you know. So um, I believe that this stuff was intrigued me, Battlestar Galactica, Harry and the Hendersons when that came out about Bigfoot, you know, um, you know, like I mentioned, Godzilla, the old ones back in the 50s. So um, I love these movies. I was intrigued by them. Anything that was did with had to do with inner and outer space, and I'll be serious with you. It's no surprise to me, you know. None of this is a surprise to me, you know. These things intrigued me then, and they intrigue me now, and it's almost jumping off the screen, you know. It's a beautiful thing to see, to behold, and then to know who you are, the power you possess, the intellect, the intelligence, the IQ you behold, and people that are just like you, it's almost like a dream come true, or your purpose come true. So, I just, that's just something to ponder on that, you know, ponder on it. I mean, we can go on and on. Clash of the Titans, War of the Worlds, you know, V, all these things, and my mother was a sci-fi fanatic. I was too. Those were my favorite books to read growing up as a child, back in the early, from the 80s on up, early 80s, you know, and then being in depth in the scriptures. And then when you read the scriptures or certain Bible stories as a child, your imagination runs wild. My favorite story, and I mentioned this, on my channel. I loved Samson, David, you know, who else? Enoch, and because I got the book of Enoch, so I always had it. My mother and father had it, you know, all these things. The book of Jubilees, they had the book of Jasher. They had these books when I was a child. They been had all this stuff, and I would just read them, occasionally. What I'm saying? Just like another storybook, like my Dr. Seuss books. I would just open it up and read it, So I was always enthralled in this type of stuff, you know. So it's great to see it now coming to, for this is for entertainment purposes only, educational purposes only, and then to know thyself, know where I'm from. My mother being, indigenous, her background of Mesoamerica, her name being Margarita, Garcia, her maiden name. My father, Seminole Indian, you know. It's just to be a part of this land, you know. Even the cartoons, the Super Friends. Remember that Indian, that indigenous superhero that grew tall into a giant. That's not a coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence. They were telling you, without telling you. Truth hidden in plain sight, you know. And it's predictive programming. They were getting you prepared for right now because they knew right now was coming anyway. You know, they were kind of getting you prepared for this moment, you know. So whenever you get a chance, look at all these things all the movies that I just named. If you can't remember them, just replay this. All the movies, the cartoons, everything, you know, and you'll see, you'll see your imagination, your childhood come to life. You know, everything that's going on. You know, they were talking about giants. They were talking about our indigenous people. They were talking about extraterrestrials. They were doing all of this stuff and keep it. Even if you want to talk about cryptids like the Wolfman, Dracula, you know, Frankenstein's monster. You know, who else? Uh, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. What other? You know, the Kraken. You know, Leviathan. You know, all these things they were telling us about in story and animated and, you know, and cinema form, when these things are for entertainment purposes only. You know, so it's beautiful. You know, I love it. You know, to meditate, to get into my practice, to strengthen myself, strengthen thyself, know thyself, and to be educated by, you know, by, you know, my peers, you know, you guys, you know, and look at your knowledge and feed off that. You know, it raises my vibration. It makes me feel good. It makes me happy. You know what I mean? So when you see all this stuff come to life, you know, allegedly, you know, feels good, you know, and that was kind of on my mind, you know what I mean. So, you know, I just want to put that out there. This was a quick, you know, quick conversation about, you know, what's going on today, you know, and then try not to get too enthralled in this, you know. Don't give yourself a chance, give yourself a break, you know, because they've been mentioning the stuff about, you know, spiritual psychosis and going through this where you might have to detox. And I mentioned that, detoxing yourself spiritually with a bath, stay away from social media, ground yourself fast, you know, and just do some normal stuff, you know, just be normal for a few days, a week, you know, go eat, have a good time, go out to eat, drink some wine, you know, and cleanse yourself so you don't, you know, so you don't feel overwhelmed or you don't feel isolated or by yourself, because, you know, you're not by yourself, you know, but you don't want to think and feel that way. I'd like to say peace be unto you, shalom, peace to the gods and goddesses, you know, much love and respect, you know, honor, you know, peace.